Yo, what up, Knicks fans? You are watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. As always, I appreciate everybody for taking time out of their busy schedules here on a Tuesday evening to hang out with the gang here at Chat Sports. We got super producer, Patrick Seatman riding shotgun with us on today's video. We got a bunch to get to. It may be August. It may be the dead time for the NBA. But with the Knicks right now, there's some juice, and we're going to talk about it. As the New York Knicks are suing the Toronto Raptors, we will dive into that in full and everything you need to know. Because a lot of you all have hit me up on Twitter and been like, yo, Marsh, what's the deal with this lawsuit? Explain it to me. Well, we will do that in a couple of minutes. So we'll talk about the lawsuit and the rats that were in the building at Madison Square Garden. Set up the cheese, catch the rats. That's what always happens. We'll break that down. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about something that I saw on Twitter. I saw on Knicks Twitter that there was a lot of people that were engaging in a debate of who should be in the starting lineup for the Knicks. Should it be second year? Well, now third year guard, 3-and-D specialist, but really more to his bag than that. Should Quentin Grimes or Josh Hart be the starter for the New York Knicks? You can go check that out. Give me your votes and thoughts in the poll that is pinned at the top of the live chat. And right now, Quentin Grimes is leading the way. There has been 50 people that have voted, and 69% have voted for Quentin Grimes. How nice is that? As we do welcome producer Pat Seep in the building. What's up, my man?
What up, Marsh? I'm shocked that it's that skewed towards QG on this. I'd probably go QG as well, but I thought it'd be closer to 50-50.
Yeah, there's definitely been some strong advocates on Twitter that want Josh Hart to start, and I can understand that. There's not a lot of Knicks fans that love Josh Hart more than I do, but I just think I'm not going to give you my thoughts right now. I'll do that in about 15 or 20 minutes or so. I understand the argument for both sides, but there's a right and a wrong answer here.
Yeah.
At least I think so. I haven't talked to Seeps about it. Maybe he feels differently. If he does, more than free to share his opinion on that one. As breaking news, Aaron Rodgers and State Farm have parted ways after 12 years. No one gives a shit.
Wow. No more discount double check.
No more, what was the guy? Raji? It was Raji, the D tackle that was.
Yeah, BJ Raji.
BJ Raji. Got talking about a bunch of BS. That's right hilarious. There. Let's get the comment section going as we always do. 100 people watching. That number will continue to grow. And the way that you can make sure that more Knicks fans join this live stream right now is spamming the comment section. Let's hit a real one roll call. If you are a real one, type real one down below. And we're going to give you a shout out. My man Johnson, you in the chat. Johnson says it's been a while since I tuned into Chat Sports. Yeah, I haven't seen you in the chat that often, Johnson. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you are yourself. The jokes have kind of run stale at this point.
They have. And, we've been getting cracked down a little bit from the bosses on your guys' shenanigans a little bit.
Yeah, come on. Let's be adults. Let's grow up. Look, I'm one childish SOB, but Boss Man told me we got to tighten up around here. We got to tighten up around here. That's for sure. Shout out to the real ones, though. Trap Star is in the building. Valentina Official, Will, Rasheen Banks, Angelina, Steven Vargas, Sheldon Williams, James Gaines, Brian, Jay Hill, Kent Neal, I'm Barkley. Love that. We did get a $2 super chat from Kareem. Is that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's little bro? I appreciate you, Kareem, for the $2 super chat. He says, I am so excited for the season. Hi, Marsh and Seeps. I am also excited for the season, Mr. Face. This one's going to be a good one. I do believe this is probably the most excited I have been about the New York Knicks heading into the season, probably in my entire life. I was thrilled last year, but my expectations are higher. This team is better. This is the year that I really think the Knicks can potentially get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't really say that too tongue-in-cheek. I really do believe that. I think this Knicks team, I think the Eastern Conference is wide open, to be honest. So the Knicks, couple breaks, go their way. Maybe they make a trade deadline acquisition just to, doesn't have to be for a superstar, just beef up the lineup for a little bit. I think they could get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So Kareem Face, We appreciate you for the $2 super chat. We asked you guys in the live poll to answer this question. Answer it for me now in the comments section. Pick one of these guys to start. Should it be Quentin Grimes? Should it be Josh Hart? Seeps, I want you to give me your answer and your reasoning for why you think that.
So right now where the Knicks are constructed, I think it's Quentin Grimes, and I don't think it's close just because of the spacing that Quentin Grimes brings. Like, obviously, if you have Josh Hart and R.J. Barrett next to each other on the wing, not a bunch of true catch-and-shoot three-point guys, Quentin Grimes offers that. But if the Knicks would make a move for maybe, let's just say, a Paul George or more like true scoring three, I'd probably lean Josh Hart. But the way the Knicks are constructed right now, Quentin Grimes is really the only like true catch-and-shoot guy probably on the entire roster, and I think he has to start.
Yeah, I share a lot of those same thoughts. I see my man Johnson, you was saying Dante DiVincenzo in the chat. I think he's going to close some games, no doubt about it, and he's definitely a guy that could be a catch-and-shoot threat for you. Shot 40% last year for the Golden State Warriors, and I expect that number to remain the same, if not get higher, this year for the Knicks. But I do agree. I think it should be Quentin Grimes, and I'm going to illustrate a couple of points coming up in a second as to why I believe that. But it seems like most people in the chat are saying Quentin Grimes as well. I guess it's more Knicks Twitter that thinks Josh Hart should be the starter.
I think Josh Hart excels by being that like burst of energy off the bench. Like, he brings more energy when he comes into the game than a guy like Quentin Grimes. Because you see Josh Hart come in, you're like, all right, what is he going to do? Is he going to dive on the floor right now? He's going to bring some sort of energy to that second unit. It's not even like a dig at Josh Hart. It's just a fit thing.
Yeah. Like, honestly, Josh Hart might be the better player than Quentin Grimes, but I think for what the Knicks need in the starting lineup and what they need at the bench, I think Hart just fits coming off the bench a little bit more, like you said. And I think he also offers a little bit more playmaking, which I think helps with that second unit. I would go Quentin Grimes. We'll talk about that more in a second. Let's ask this question. Name someone you want the Knicks to trade for, because maybe the OG Anunoby trade rumors could be coming to a close.
Or could this open them up? I don't know. You could go either way.
I don't know about that. I'm Barkley, says Paul George.
That's mine. Good. You know ball, Barkley. Paul George would bring the Knicks to the NBA Finals. I'm still in that camp. If they make a trade for Paul George, they are going to the NBA Finals this next year.
TJ Noble says LaVine. I wouldn't mind trading for Zach LaVine. I think it would have to come closer to the trade deadline, though.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I don't see any big-time trade happening before the regular season. I think a lot of these guys who are on the trade block, it's going to see how their team's doing the first half of the season. They're bad. I think it could be a massive NBA trade deadline.
Yeah, we saw last year that Donovan Mitchell was traded on September 1st. You don't really see too many trades happen in August. The last one I can remember was when Kyrie Irving was traded to the Celtics. And before that, the one before that would be when the Los Angeles Lakers traded for Dwight Howard back in 2012. August is the offseason, within the offseason for the NBA staff. A lot of people are at their cribs, so not expecting any moves to be made, at least for a couple another weeks or so. See some Brandon Ingrams in the chat, Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid, Austin Reeves, Jokic. Yeah, I'd love to trade for Jokic. I don't think that's happening.
I like the BI fit too, though.
Yeah, I like the Brandon Ingram fit as well.
Also, very underrated playmaker, BI. Like, he's another guy you could throw the ball to and give kind of Brunson, like, you know how we kind of said Paul George could kind of be the backup point if you trade away quickly in a trade? I think BI is very, very similar.
It's something about Brandon Ingram where I question that dog in him a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just do. Maybe it's because he plays in New Orleans and we haven't seen him on many primetime occasions. I know he played well in the playoffs.
Against the Suns that one year.
Yeah, I don't know. I just question if he's got that dog in him, and he's pretty injury prone. But look,
if there's anybody to bring it out of him, it would be the Jalen Brunson, Tom Thibodeau Knicks culture.
For sure. And, you know, when you think of what the Knicks need, they need a 6'9", 6'10" wing that can put it on the deck and score off the bounce. I also don't like that he's not a good defender. And I worry that if you have Brunson and him and Randall. That's 3 negative defenders really in your starting lineup. But, man, you'd be a really good offensive team. And that's why you hired Tom Thibodeau, to be able to put a defensive game plan together in the playoffs. And that's why the Knicks this past year were the #1 team in defensive rating in the playoffs. And that's because of Tom Thibodeau. As Jenny T, coming in with a $2 super chat, says, "Hi, Johnson, you." Jenny, we appreciate the $2 super chat. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you, Miss Talia, for supporting the program. We do have a Q&A coming up. We didn't do one last week. I want to get to one this week. If you have a question about the Knicks, about a player they should trade for, what do I think a player is going to do this year? Who should be in the starting lineup? Should they fire Tom Thibodeau? What should the Knicks do? Any question that is Knicks related, drop it in the comment section and include a hashtag Knicks. If you want to skip the line and guarantee a way to get your spot on today's show, you gotta super chat. All super chats that are relevant to the New York Knicks, Patrick Seatman will put those in the mailbag. So get your questions in, hashtag Knicks or super chat. We're getting closer and closer to the regular season. I can almost smell it. It's getting so close. My man Johnson, you getting a question in. JU, we appreciate you. Way to be a leader, brother. Way to be a leader.
Set the tone in the chat, JU.
Set the tone, JU.
Is JU going from like a troll guy to like, I'm going to be that man in the chat. I'm going to keep the show on the tracks.
We need Johnson you to step up into more of a leadership role this season.
That's what we need. I agree.
He had a good season this year.
Great season.
I want to see him go from being the young whippersnapper that overproduced to be the guy that this is his ball club.
I love it. I love it, JU. I love it, JU. And I miss seeing Johnson you in the chat.
I do too, because that's when that's a party. When Johnson U's in the chat, it's a party.
D-Gen times are over. Let's go. Clap it up for Johnson you.
Shout out. And then we got Crimsdad with the same picture as Jenny in the chat.
That's weird.
That's weird. Why would Crimsdad have the same profile picture as Jenny Taylor?
They might know each other.
Maybe. I bet he's playing with a little Jenny T. All righty. Hashtag Knicks or super chat. Let's get into it, though. Let's discuss kind of what's going on between the Knicks and the Raptors, as a lot of mumbo-jumbo that I'm going to try to break down and make it digestible for all of the Knicks fans out there. If you haven't yet, get a question in. Hashtag Knicks. Shout out to Schnazzy. Love that. The New York Knicks are suing the Toronto Raptors, and it is getting ugly right now in the NBA. We're going to break everything down that you need to know that's going on between the two Eastern Conference franchises. But I've been asked a couple of times, Marsh, does this mean the OG Anunoby trade rumors are dead? Yeah. I don't think that the Toronto Raptors are going to be wanting to deal with the New York Knicks, as there is a lawsuit going on between the two teams. We'll talk more about OG Anunoby at the tail end of the show. Let's start, though, with trying to break down everything that is going on. Here is pictured Coach Ike. He is a former Knicks assistant video coordinator, and that is the brand new head coach, Mr. Rajakovic, for the Toronto Raptors. And let's just start it off with this. The Knicks and Raptors lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges that the Raptors' new head coach, the Knicks' former video coordinator, Coach Ike Azotam, I'm going to butcher his name 10 more times. I apologize for that. But he illegally shared 3,358 video files with the New York Knicks, and that is just the beginning of what happened. I want to go to this tweet right here, and it kind of just illustrates the point that there is a long history between the New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors. This isn't the first time that there's been any sort of drama between the two teams. Let's start with this. The Raptors and Knicks have some contentious history dating back more than 20 years. Current New York owner James Dolan reportedly nixed a trade that would have sent Raptors icon Kyle Lowry to the Knicks in 2013 because Dolan was fearful of being fleeced in another trade by Raptors president Masai Ujiri, who had pried away a generous package of draft picks and players for Carmelo Anthony when Ujiri was running the Denver Nuggets. In 2000, the Toronto coach Butch Carter filed a defamation lawsuit against the Knicks forward Marcus Camby over comments Camby made after Toronto traded him to the Knicks in 1999. In another instance, Ujiri's first move after becoming the head man in Toronto was to saddle the Knicks with the contract of Andrea Bargnani in a deal for 3 players and 3 draft picks. So there has been a long history between the Knicks and the Raptors and a lot of complications. Well, there has been nothing like this up to date. The Athletic, Fred Katz, and another beat reporter for them did a really good job of outlining what happened in this lawsuit. Let's break it down. Quote, the lawsuit alleges that Coach Ike, the Knicks' former director of video analytics and player development, stole proprietary information, including scouting reports, play frequency reports, a prep book, and a link to a third-party licensed software, and used it to help Rajakovic, the new head coach for the Raptors, acclimate to his first head coaching job. The suit says that in July, around the time Coach Ike told the Knicks he had a job offer from Toronto, he started to forward information from his Knicks email account to his personal Gmail account. What a dodo bird. The suit alleges that the Raptors defendants directed Coach Ike to misuse his access to the Knicks Synergy Sports account to create and transfer more than 3,000 files with film and data, including 3,300 video files. The Knicks discovered his transfer on August 15th and say that those files were accessed by more than 2,000 times by the Toronto Raptors. Even more information is coming out, and it was said in there. Allegedly, Raptors' new head coach, Darko Rajakovic, was in on this. Supposedly, he was pushing Coach Ike to be the rat at Madison Square Garden. Quote, to assist this novice coach in doing his job, defendant Rajakovic and the other Raptors defendants conspired to use Coach Ike's position as a current Knicks insider to funnel proprietary information to the Raptors to help them organize, plan, and structure the new coaching and video operations staff. Defendant Rajakovic and the other Raptors defendants recruited and used Coach Ike to serve as a mole within the Knicks organization to convey information that would assist the Raptors defendants in trying to manage their team. A whole lot of words, to be honest with you, that I don't even really know what they mean or things that I just said. But pretty much the Raptors had Coach Ike, while he was still working with the Knicks, funnel their organization information and confidential reports, scouting, video, everything that the Knicks had built up. He pretty much shared that with the Toronto Raptors. This is a wild story when you think about what is going on between the Toronto Raptors in the New York Knicks. And we've seen some of these other things happen, like in the MLB. I believe it was the St. Louis Cardinals did this one time. But I think this is the funny point. The Knicks went from the laughingstock of the league just a couple of years ago to now being a team that people are trying to steal information on when it comes to team building, coaching, and scouting. It's ridiculous. I will say this, though. Of all other 29 coaches in the NBA that Rajakovic wanted to steal information from on game planning and playbooks, he decided to steal Tom Thibodeau's playbook? Oh, my God. I like Tibbs. Never would I think that he is the guy that has the most dynamic playbook that someone would want to steal from. Look, I think the only fair explanation and result of this is the Knicks should just get the Raptors' first-round pick this year. The Knicks should get the 2024 first-round pick that belongs to the Toronto Raptors, or they should just have to give us OG Anunoby for free. I'm no lawyer, I'm no judge, but that seems fair for both sides. Give us OG Anunoby or give us a first-round pick, and we'll remove the lawsuit. How about that? I do know this, though. If any more info comes out about the lawsuit, the Raptors, the Knicks, or if the Knicks make any sort of moves, we are going to make a video. So subscribe to Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Free Knicks content every single day. And the season is right around the corner, which means Knicks watch parties are back, baby. Let's go back to what we talked about at the top of the show. Are the OG Anunoby trade hopes dead? Yeah, those are dead. Those are axed. Those are 6 feet in the ground. That is never going to happen. Masai Ujiri and James Dolan hate each other, number one. And number two, another thing on top of the long history that they have, there is no way, no how that the Knicks and the Raptors are going to be able to come to a trade. So, put the OG trade rumors to bed. They're dead. It's just not going to happen. But what about this? OG Anunoby is a free agent this summer. So maybe the Knicks go out and sign him in free agency. Well, not going to happen because the Knicks do not have any cap space. And the Toronto Raptors are no way, no how going to help facilitate a sign and trade for OG Anunoby. So, unfortunately, the guy that's been pushing the OG Anunoby story for 15 months at this point, it's dead. No more OG Anunoby trade talks on this channel unless more news and rumors come out. But right now, I think the idea of OG being traded from the Raptors to the Knicks is no longer going to happen. So, spam the chat. Type RIP in the chat because I've had a lot of fun on this show diving into OG Anunoby and the fit he would be and trade packages he would be and why he would help the Knicks and the advanced analytics, watching film and everything. But right now, the OG Anunoby trade hopes are dead. Spam it in the comments section. RIP. Let's put it to bed. If it's not going to be OG Anunoby, let's just quickly go over some other New York Knicks trade candidates that I think could happen this upcoming season. I think Joel Embiid is number one on this list. We've talked about it time and time again on this channel. Just type Joel Embiid, New York Knicks Now, and there'll be plenty of videos for you to watch to get the information. But I think he is number one on the New York Knicks big board right now. I'm still putting Zion Williamson on this board. There's just too many connections to the New York Knicks. CAA, RJ Barrett's best friend. He wanted to be a Knick on draft night, and he said his favorite place to play is Madison Square Garden. I am not putting the Zion Williamson trade rumors to bed just yet. And neither will I with Zach LaVine, as I still think that if the Chicago Bulls get off to a rocky start, that he could be on the move when the NBA trade deadline gets here once the new year of 2024 arrives. Not going to say that he is untouchable right now for the Chicago Bulls. Another guy, I still think Donovan Mitchell is a New York Knicks trade candidate. We've talked about Mitchell plenty of times on this channel before. Look, if he doesn't sign that contract extension prior to the season getting underway, expect to see more videos about Donovan Mitchell on this channel. And the last player, what about Brandon Ingram, Team USA teammate with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart? If you think that Brunson and Hart are not recruiting players on Team USA right now, wake the hell up, because they absolutely are. That's what they do. There's been so many superstar duos and trios where the relationships have been born at Team USA. Let's talk about the Miami Heat big three with LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh. What about Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker? You see it all the time. These superstars get together for months at a time, and they're the only people they're talking to and hanging out with. They form bonds, they form friendships, and good players, whether you believe it or not, like to play with other good players. I guarantee the Knicks are recruiting Brandon Ingram at this current moment. Is it one of these five guys that we just talked about as to someone you want to trade for the Knicks? Or is there someone else out there across the association that you want to see put on the orange and blue with New York across their chest? Give me a name of a player that you want the Knicks to trade for right now in the comment section. And remember, you can always give me a follow over on Twitter. I'm down to talk Knicks news and rumors or just chat about life over there. So give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_, and let's go Knicks. Woo!
I'm not going to lie. I feel like this might get stickier than we think.
I think it is too.
Like just going through that, like, dude, that's bad from the Raptors.
I don't know what type of punishment that is. Obviously, I was joking a little bit about OG Anunoby and a first-round pick.
It's got to at least be a first-round pick.
But think about it like this. They're filing this lawsuit with the Manhattan court, not the NBA. They're not suing them in the NBA. They're suing them in the court of law. Look, I just talk hoops. I don't know much about the damn legal system. I'm not going to act like I do. That's why we used a lot of quotes that we could talk about. I hope we explained it well enough. I thought we did a good job.
Yeah.
If you have any more questions, though, I can try to give you my best thought on those. We did have a couple of super chats come in. Shout out to my man Nick DeVito. Came in with a $10 super chat. Drop those eyeball emojis in the
Come on,
chat.
baby.
Still looking for my glasses and my hat in the mail, Mr.
Seriously.
Davidov. But as always, you are the definition of a real one. Another real one. One of the first real ones ever. Crim's dad. I miss seeing that beautiful face
too.
up there.
I didn't know Crimmy was also lined up a little.
My man Crimmy's got the beard. Save some for us, my dog.
Jeez.
He says, I'm going away for 3 weeks tomorrow. You are safe from my dirty super chats. What do you mean? I've never seen you send any dirty super chats.
Yeah, what? What is he talking about?
I thought that was Jenny and
Yeah.
Anita and Stella. And
We should just have a compilation of just all of them. Like,
a top 10.
a top 10 of Crim's
names.
dad and Johnson.
Crim's dad,
Super chats.
you know we love you here at Chat Sports. It just came from the higher-ups that, Marshall, your shows are inappropriate for kids.
Like,
And we're a family network.
It was a good June and July, but getting back into school's back, so we gotta loop it in a little.
Crimmy, we love you and all the support you've shown to Chat Sports over the years. Thank you very much, and you are the definition of real. Enjoy your 3-week trip, my man. Where are you going? Not going to be internet there or what? Shout out to you, Crimmy. $5 super chat. The man. Let's go. As Trey Miles is coming in with a $5 super chat. Yeah! Dude, that'll never get old.
Dude, it fires me the F up every single time, Trey.
I would literally laugh every time I do that.
Dude, I love it. Trey, when we see you in person, when you come, first thing I'm saying, we could be 100 yards away from each other. Yeah! We know who it is.
Love that. Trey Miles says, money making Marsh. This story is great. I despise Masai Ujiri, so I couldn't be happier that he's scrambling like the PR to fix this ish. Trey Miles, salute to you, my brother. I agree. It's weird. You wonder how many times though. Obviously this has been taken to a new extent by Coach Ike. How many scouts, assistant coaches, video directors take information from their old team to the new team? I'm sure that happens all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know about 3,300 videos and hacking into a third-party software.
Do you think he was just thinking I had all this information with the Knicks. I just want to use this, for my time with the Raptors. I wonder if he had malicious intent.
I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say no, he didn't. But I don't know. He got himself in a world of trouble. And I'll tell you this much: sending the information from his Knicks email to his Gmail info. What a dumbass!
Yes. It's they can see who you send emails to.
If you're going to be a criminal, at least be a smart criminal. Jesus.
Come on.
The man used his Coach Ike at gmail.com.
Yeah, he sent it from Coach Ike at nixwhatever.com. Sent it to his personal.
Ridiculous. Trey Miles, salute my man. # True York. Let's ride. As TJ Noble comes in with the $50 super chat. Type those TJs in the comment section.
Let's go, TJ.
So show our man TJ Noble some love. He says, no question, just want to show my support. Starting vacation today and I'm already drunk.
Let's go.
Love you guys. I need a beer shotgun.
Yeah,
I need a beer shotgun for my man TJ Noble.
There's nothing better than the first day being drunk on vacation. It's different than any other drunk.
It does.
I swear.
When I was in Florida 2 weeks ago, I was absolutely wasted on the beach, and it was awesome. it was awesome. I still managed to put my sunscreen on, though, so good stuff right there. TJ, salute to you. I got a beer shotgun coming up for you. I wish I was on vacation with you, my man. Enjoy it. Have fun. Be safe. Thank you for supporting the show. It really goes a long way. Everybody at Chat Sports, not just myself, not just Patrick Seatman, everybody at Chat Sports appreciates generous donations like that. So salute to TJ. I need all the real ones in the chat to show him some love right now. I am Jules.
Wow, that
My
hits.
man came in with a $5 super chat. Just got here. All I got to say is I can't wait for the season and all the live show with the real ones. I'm ready for the games, dude.
Dude, and it pisses me off because we're still so far away. It sucks how far away. We're at least 2 months out still. I am Jules. I'm in the same boat. I was just going to say it. It's kind of hitting different. We're going from Trey Miles to TJ Noble to Jules to Nick Davidov. We
got
all the
some real ones in here. The Knicks' first preseason game is October 9th.
Jeez.
We'll be live on the channel for preseason basketball, October 9th. That is a Monday. So Monday, October 9th. Circle it on your calendars. Put it into your schedule. Let the world know Knicks Now is going to be live with our award-winning. I'm calling them award-winning. They've never really won an award except for my mother, but they're award-winning live streams. That's all I got to say. And it's because of people like I Am Jules and Nick Davidoff and Troz Visas and Knicks Are Nice and So Real and Darkheart and Will and John Scheffler's in the chat dropping those eyeballs. I told John Scheffler if he drops a $100 super chat, I'm doing a beer boot. We'll see if he's about it.
You know, how about this, John? If you drop a 200, we'll make it a race.
Wow.
200.
We'll make $200 super chat. I'm going to race Seeps and a beer boot.
John, you're not getting those deals on Raiders.
Yeah, you got to pay like $700 for a boot on Raiders.
Yeah.
We're giving you 2 for $200. That's a steal.
2 for $200.
That's a steal, John Scheffler. I Am Jules. Love seeing your name in the chat, my man. Thank you for always supporting us. You're always here. Let's go. As Nick Davidoff comes back with a $20 super chat. Shout out to Nick Davidoff. He also said he just purchased his season tickets. He's a legend. Always is. One of my favorite parts of Knicks Now so far this year was after the games, Davidoff would just hop in the chat and just go crazy.
Yes, he would. Well, because he would be at the games, and he would be the Knicks' good luck charm. I swear, I want to know the percentage of Nick Davidoff being at the games and the Knicks winning percentage in the playoffs.
It's got to be at least 95%.
At least, dude.
A $200 super chat! Bang! John Scheffler, a $200 super chat! Take those Schefflers in the chat. John Scheffler, a chat sports legend, coming in the clutch. You know, he told me he was going to do it.
I didn't think
you put the deal on the table.
I put it out there, and he took advantage.
Johnny freaking Scheffler, a man. He's not a myth. He is a legend. No doubt about it. John Scheffler, $200 super chat. Holy shit.
All right.
My man John, he's a real one. I mean, what else can you say at this point?
Cook up, John.
Cook at the flick of the wrist.
Cook up, bro.
Look at the flick of the wrist.
Cook up, chef.
Everybody type those JS's in the chat.
Chef.
Show a chat sports legend. Seriously. He supports across a bunch of shows.
Yep.
And that's good shit right there. John Scheffler, let's freaking go.
The chef's in the kitchen.
The chef is in the I think I saw Crimmy in the chat say, can you smell what the chef is cooking? Drop those JS's in the chat. Shout out to Webb, Jason. Rumpel says big dubs. Rumpel Foreskin, my man. He may be a Cavs fan, but he's a real one.
He's a closet Knicks guy.
He is. He's a closet Knicks fan.
He's a classic Knicks guy.
He is. Even TJ Noble, who just dropped a 50 ball, showing Scheffler some love. Shout out to him. Let's go.
Are you thinking boots right now?
Let's just do the boots now. Right. Honestly, if we want to party, I'm down to party. F it. If we want to party, I'm down to party. Let's have a day. Some real ones in the chat. He says, of course I am. Rumpel Foreskin, we appreciate you. Jason in the chat showing love. Dennis says, are we going to get Embiid or not? You know, sometimes when there's too much smoke around a situation, you just see right through it. I don't know if the Knicks are going to trade for Joe Embiid. Yeah, the report that we talked about on Monday that Yahoo Sports believes that the 76ers want to trade Joel Embiid and they want to go through a full rebuild. I don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't. What's it going to cost? And I think Webb makes a good point. Got to give too much. We talked about a potential trade idea that came from Bleacher Report on the show on Monday. After you check out today's live stream, you can go check that out. The trade that Bleacher Report mocked up was Emmanuel Quickley, Evan Fournier, Mitchell Robinson, 2 protected picks, and 2 unprotected picks. And to be honest, I would do that. I think that's a steal for Joel Embiid. I I do have my concerns, though, about Embiid. It's a good point, Chef. Scheffler says not only will it cost a lot, but who's coming into the draft? That's a good point. Draft picks are like lottery tickets. Some hit, some don't. That's a good point, John Scheffler. It's just like if you trade for Joel Embiid, that is your all-in move, and if it pays off, you're going to win a championship. No doubt about it. If it doesn't, you're a top team in the East, but your future may be a little bit rough. But what I will say is, in that mock trade, they had the Knicks trading 4 first-round picks. The Knicks have, I believe, 10 first-round picks in the next 7 years. So they would still have 6 first-round picks in the next 7 years, which means they would still have enough draft ammunition to where if shit went left and it didn't work out, they could still rebuild the team. My concern with trading for Embiid is the health, no doubt. He's missed a lot of playoff games. Are we really? That's brutes. I try to talk myself out of trading for Joel Embiid, but like, shoot, when do 29-year-old MVPs become available? They just don't. John makes a good point again. He's injury prone. He is. He is. I don't think he hasn't missed less than 16 games one time in the last 4 years. So there's that. We did get a $10 super chat from my man Mark Brown, a first-time super chatter. Let's hit him with a 2 clap for Mark Brown. Shout out to Mark Brown, a first-time super chatter here on New York Knicks Now. He says, let's go. Mark, we appreciate you. Thanks for being a real one. Thanks for tuning in. That's right, first-time super chatter. Not sure if this is the first time you watch the show, but this is how we get down. We talk about the latest Knicks news and rumors. We like to inform, entertain, have fun, and party a little bit because that's what we like to do. We like to have fun, get loose, and hang with the fellas. Hang with the fellas. As we got the boots filling up right here. Going Happy Dad today. Shout out to you guys. Ain't nothing like a Happy Dad boot, my man. Nothing like a little Happy Dad boot. The bubbles are bubbling. That's for sure. And we drink boots, Will. We drink boots. If you don't know what a boot is, this is it. You can go 3 beers. We do Happy Dads. They have electrolytes in them. We're trying to stay hydrated. We're trying to stay hydrated. Cheers. Shout out to John Scheffler, a real one here at Chat Sports. Let's ride. Woo! I spilled a little. Woo! Those don't ever get easier. Oh, that's brutal. Got a little wet spot on my shirt. The worst part about that boot is, Seeps, I need to go to the dentist. Because one of my back teeth, it hurts.
Yeah.
And that ice cold.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, my God.
Like, I got a chipped tooth right here. So, like, it's like the first 5 seconds, it is brutal.
I'm, like, brutally, like, scared of the dentist. Like, man, I
hate the dentist, dude.
I've been putting off getting this tooth fixed for as long as I can, and it hurts right now from that cold liquid, which is not good. Shout out to Scheffler, though. Like, I feel like, I don't know. That's just real love right there. Real love. He literally said in the chat, not a New York Giant or New York Knicks fan, but I'm a Marshall and Seeps fan.
That's what's up. That's
Dude,
what's up.
Dude, you're going to make me blush a little bit. Johnny, we appreciate you,
You don't
Johnny.
got to flirt with us like that, John.
I know, Johnny. Shit. John Scheffler, though, salute to you, man. Always supporting myself, Patrick Seatman, especially the stuff you do on the Raiders Report, man. That's incredible.
I think Dennis has a good comment for you right now.
Says, this is my go-to Knicks shows. You guys are awesome, but, bro, go to the dentist. I
You
know,
gotta get
dude.
out of the way.
Like,
you're going to feel better after.
I am, but, like, those next 2 days are going to suck.
Yeah, having a sore mouth.
Like, I probably need, like, a freaking root canal or a crown put on the top of my tooth. And I don't know about you. After I did that boot,
Dude.
I'm sweating.
Oh, really? I got the chills.
Okay, maybe I'm already drunk, I think.
Dude, and the thing is, like, your belly, I think my belly expanded 3 feet after that boot.
My man Keith Turner in the building. Keith Turner, what up, Brody? I'm trying to dry off this little wet spot on my shirt. How's it looking? Jeez, it looks like I just lactated on. You can't really tell.
Let's just give it a couple seconds here before we dive in.
We do have a mailbag coming up. I will say, those boots, they work. If you're wondering, they work. We have a mailbag coming up, and I want to hear from some of y'all in the chat. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat to get on the show. My man 90s Knicks in the building. Keith Turner, I'm calling on you. Give me a question in the chat right now, Keith Turner. Use hashtag Knicks and drop a question. I want to know what you're thinking. Ask me anything about the Knicks, or if you just have a thought. It doesn't actually have to be a question. Give me a thought on the Knicks.
Give us a good, I want some good
We need
questions.
some good questions
Give me
today.
some hoop head questions.
You guys know ball.
Yes.
Show us that you know ball with some of these questions.
You guys listen to us all the time. You guys obviously know ball a little bit.
Snazzy also says, everyone smash that like button. Yeah, hit that thumbs up icon. We got 140 people watching, only 54 likes. That's embarrassing. To be honest with you, this wall behind me on the other side is my boss's office. And he can hear us right now saying we only have 55 likes. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Hit that thumbs up icon. Come on. Don't be a fraud. Let's go.
Let's go. Then we are going to dive into who's going to start next year.
We are. So if you want to get your votes in, do it right now. Pick one to start. Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart. I think it's all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, dude, my stomach's kind of hurting.
Dude, I need to burp so bad.
Oh. Scheffler.
Yeah, Chef got us.
He got us. He got us. No doubt about it. Oh, what is this? Let's go. Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's go. Let's do it, though. Let's jump into who do you think should start? Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart,
Alrighty. Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart.
Alrighty, let's get into it. Who should start, Quentin Grimes or Josh Hart? Who should start for the New York Knicks this year? Is it Quentin Grimes? Is it Josh Hart? In today's show, we're going to break down the idea of both of these guys being in the starting lineup. We'll take a look at some stats from last year. We'll talk about the playoffs. We'll talk about the regular season. Then at the tail end of the show, I'm going to give you my opinion. But first, I want to hear from you on Knicks Now. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Let me know who should start for the New York Knicks this year. Is it Quentin Grimes? Is it Josh Hart? Type the initials of the guy that you're rocking with down in the comment section right now. I think to set the scene of this debate, let's at least take a look at last year. Let's start with the regular season numbers for these two players. Quentin Grimes last year in his second year at the University of Houston averaged 11.3 points per game, 2.1 assists, 3.2 rebounds, shot 46.8% from the field, and a scorching 38.6% from downtown. I love the leap that Quentin Grimes took from year one to year two. You talk about Josh Hart, averaged just under 10 points per game, nearly 8 rebounds and nearly 4 assists. A little bit more efficient from the field, 53% compared to 47 and 37% compared to 38. But I think that you need a little bit more context with those numbers because Quentin Grimes' shot diet is just a little bit different than Josh Hart. Grimes shot 5.7 three-pointers per game this year, whereas Josh Hart shot just 2.2. So take the percentages from downtown with a little bit of a grain of salt. Let's talk about the playoffs, though. That's where I think that we saw a little bit of why the lineup of Josh Hart and with the starters could make a little bit more sense. Number one, Quentin Grimes really struggled in his first playoff appearance with the New York Knicks. Was dealing with a little bit of an injury, but I'm not going to give him a pass for the injury, but I'm also not going to write him off because of the lack of success he had. In my core of basketball beliefs, I think Quentin Grimes is a winning basketball player, and he could be in the starting lineup of a team that's competing for the Larry O.B. Only averaged 5 points per game, though, and was not efficient at all, 30% and 24% from downtown. Whereas Josh Hart had some really good games in the playoffs. He was good against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he had a couple of good games against the Heat. But it was the three-point percentage, where it's at 31.3%, where he was just unable to be an efficient enough shooter to keep the defenses honest. And honestly, my concern with Josh Hart starting over Quentin Grimes is the difference in three-point shooting, which makes the floor balance difficult for the New York Knicks. Because we saw both these guys get chances at being a starter again that series against the Miami Heat. You saw Josh Hart be the starter in the start of that series. And you saw when defenders would be guarding him in that corner, they were helping off. They were daring the Knicks to throw it into the corner for Josh Hart to shoot, which meant that when the Knicks would drive, whether it be Brunson, Randall, or R.J. Barrett, they would be met by a help defender, and they would be helping off of Josh Hart's man in the corner. Whereas when the Knicks inserted Grimes back into the starting lineup, you saw that help defender in the corner have to play more of a denied defense, which opened more of a driving lane for Brunson, Randall, and R.J. Barrett. I just think the floor space is a little bit better with Grimes compared to Josh Hart. And a reason I think that Grimes, I told you I'd tell you at the end of the show who I wanted to start. If you can't tell by now, maybe you should listen a little bit better. I think that this is very important. NBA University, in a great account on Twitter, give them a follow, put this out there. The New York Knicks, Toronto Raptors, and Philadelphia 76ers all had two players in the top 16 most double-team players in the NBA. Jalen Brunson was double-teamed the 8th most on 31.2% of his possessions, while Julius Randle was double-teamed the 3rd most in the NBA at 34% of his possessions. Why does this matter? Because if you are being double-teamed, that means somebody is open, which means you're going to have more catch-and-shoot opportunities from deep. And honestly, we'll show you the stats in a second, Quentin Grimes is a much better three-point shooter than Josh Hart. But it's not just the fact that those guys get double-teamed. The Knicks' bread and butter on offense is drive and kick. And a lot of those times, when you drive and kick, it ends up being a corner three-point shot. In fact, the Knicks attempted the 2nd most corner three-pointers per game, right behind the Dallas Mavericks. 10.2 corner threes per night, and they knocked them down at 38%, which is a solid number, but it's below the Mavericks, and it's below the Celtics, and it's below the Suns. So if you have more open corner threes, and you have more drive and kick threes, and more passes at a double team for threes, you want the person that can knock those down at a better clip. And it's Quentin Grimes. You look at the advanced shooting stats and defensive rating for Grimes this past year in 2022 and 2023. He knocked down 40% of his catch-and-shoot threes, and he shot nearly 5 of those per game. Remember that number, 5. He shot 48.5% from the left corner, which is one of the top percentages in the NBA. He also shot 37.5% from the right corner and 35.3% above the break. Above the break is pretty much any three-point shot that is not in the corner. And also, he had a defensive rating of 117.3. We've showed you the stats on screen before. Quentin Grimes drew the number one team's offensive threat every single night. He had the most difficult matchup every single night based on advanced analytics, and he still managed to have a 117 defensive rating, which isn't great, but when you factor in the matchups that he had every night, it makes a lot of sense. Remember, 5 threes for Quentin Grimes, only 2 catch-and-shoot opportunity threes for Josh Hart. And he knocked him down in a solid percentage this year at 40.8%. He also shot 41% from the left corner and 39.4%. But when it's not on the, I would say, rate that Quentin Grimes does it, it's a little bit less impressive. Also shot only 34.8%. Everywhere else on the three-point line besides the corner, and the defensive rating for Josh Hart is a little bit different. Overall, Josh Hart only shot 2.2 threes per night. I remember I tweeted out let's take it back even a step further. When the Knicks traded for Josh Hart, I think I was the loudest person in the world saying I loved that trade and it was a win for the Knicks. But after about 10 games of the regular season, I said I wanted to see Josh Hart be more aggressive. Stop passing up shots. And people told me, Marshall, stop being a hater. He takes the right shots and he makes the right passes. Well, we saw in the playoffs, with him passing up open 3 after open 3, it actually had a negative effect on the offense. So I like the fact that Grimes is more willing to take those shots. Let's transition from that to some more advanced analytics. So on that top row, we did it like this. We went and looked at the minutes played, offensive rating, defensive rating, and net rating of the 2 lineups where you just take out Quentin Grimes and put in Josh Hart. So on the left-hand side, you have Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Of that 5-player lineup, those guys played 526 minutes together in the regular season. They had an offensive rating of 123.8, which is one of the highest in the NBA. They also had a defensive rating of 117, which is not that great. And they had a net rating of 6.7. Anytime your net rating is in the positive, that is a good thing. I guess that's on the right. That's on the left side. On the right side, you see Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Josh Hart, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson's numbers when they played together. There wasn't much of a sample size in the regular season. Only 11 minutes played, but they had an offensive rating of 100, which is not all that good, but a stellar defensive rating of 81 and a net rating of positive 19. Not the largest sample size, so let's focus on the playoffs where both of these lineups played a decent numbers of minutes together. That Brunson, Grimes, RJ, Julius, and Mitchell Robinson lineup played 86 minutes together in the playoffs. Offensive rating of 106.4, defensive rating of 93.6, and a net rating of 12.7, a positive 12.7. On the flip side, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Josh Hart, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson played 75 minutes together. Their offensive rating was higher than the other team of 120.3, but shockingly, the defensive rating was way worse, and they had a net rating of minus 8.4. So all those words in advanced analytics, what does this tell you? That Quentin Grimes is a better fit in the starting lineup. And I'll go on to say this. I believe Josh Hart fits better with the bench unit. I think the energy, the ability for Josh Hart to just come in and be a havoc creator and affect the game in a multitude of ways, diving on the floor, catching a ball off the glass and a rebound, going coast to coast, and being more of a facilitator fits what the Knicks need off the bench, whereas the starting lineup needs a spacer in Quentin Grimes. They need someone that's willing to take open threes, that draws defenses out more onto the perimeter. And I think the NBA teams respect Quentin Grimes as a shooter much more than they do for Josh Hart. Also, if Josh Hart starts, that makes the backup power forward position that you guys love to talk about a bigger problem than it already is. Because why? The Knicks are going to use Josh Hart at the backup 4 position. So I'm going to say I believe Quentin Grimes should start. And I believe he will start. But we asked you at the start of the show to pick one of these guys to start. We went through all the analytics, everything you need to know about these 2 guys. Has your answer changed? If you want to change it, do it right now. Pick one to start, QG or JH. As always, you can follow me over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting about the Knicks all day, every day, and I want to follow more Knicks fans on Twitter. So give me a follow and send me a DM, and I'll give you a follow back. Oh, my stomach is full.
I know.
My stomach is full. I see a whole bunch of Raiders fans in the chat.
Yeah, we got flooded a little bit. Rebel was in here.
Rebel Montana was in here. Was he telling me to go home?
No, you're saying you owe him 2 shots.
Rebel, I don't know you shit. I said the deal was only for Scheffler.
I think Raiders fans might like the Knicks more than the Raiders. Like,
they like us a lot.
They like us almost a little too much.
They are obsessed with us.
Hey, it's cool. I mean, Marsh and I are cool guys to hang out with.
We're pretty damn cool.
Cool.
So I understand. I understand.
I get it.
Oh, my gosh. Keith Turner says Grimes does the same things. He isn't aggressive. Then why did he shoot 6 threes per night and Josh Hart shot 2? I don't know. Do you think it's out of line to say that Josh Hart is not a willing three-point shooter?
I don't know if it's like...
I think he's just always trying to find the better play. But sometimes the better play is to shoot.
Like him stepping... Like that one, the 1-3 against the Cavs, game 1. When the shot clock was kind of winding down.
Step back 3.
And he had that little hezzy pull, but he shot it with confidence.
Like, Josh Hart can't shoot the basketball. From a just shooting perspective, though, Grimes runs laps around him.
Yes.
He says he lost his starting position. I think that's a little bit untrue. He got hurt, and then he came back, and Josh Hart was starting. I'll push back with this, Keith. Josh Hart lost his starting position because they inserted Grimes back into the starting lineup. So
yeah, I think these guys, like, yeah, you want to hear your name called out when you're running out at the beginning of the game, but like I think most of it is like I want to be ending games.
Yeah,
like,
and that's going to be a tough decision for Tibbs.
Because then you got to throw like a guy like DiVincenzo in there, like
Brunson, Randall, and a big man are going to be closing games 99% of the time.
I don't know about the big man.
They're not playing Julius Randle at the 5. Tibbs isn't doing that, dude.
I don't know, dude.
You're telling me if the Knicks are up 8, he's putting in a closing lineup.
No, yeah, that's good.
The only time they're putting Randle in the closing lineup is if they're trying to come back, I think. Even then, Tibbs still wants to control the glass.
See, it's also like
he needs a rim protector on the floor.
What do you do with Emmanuel Quickley? Because, like, Emmanuel Quickley, I think he's way better than Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart, and DiVincenzo. You're just going to have him not close any games? Dude, that's why a trade's got to be coming. Like, a trade has to be coming.
You're going to hate me. RJ Barrett should not be at the closing lineup at this current moment. He doesn't shoot threes good enough. He doesn't affect the game on defense enough.
And because, plus, think about it. Closing lineup. Last, like, offensive possessions.
It's being run through Brunson and Randall.
The shots that guys like QG, Josh Hart, and Quickley are getting are mainly just either catch and shoot or one dribble get to your spot. I'd rather have those guys taking those shots instead of RJ. And plus, they're way better defenders than RJ. Which pisses me off because it should be RJ's a better defender because of his true size. Webb's saying that's why I feel like Grimes will be in a trade. Yeah, I could...
We did that video a couple of days, or weeks ago at this point, and I said, are the Knicks planning on trading Quentin Grimes? One, if you know me and you know the show, which you do if you're watching, I don't want to trade Quentin Grimes, but I can understand why the Knicks would want to because they signed Dante DiVincenzo, and they have Josh Hart. And while they aren't all the same player, it seems they kind of come from that same DNA. Defense, winning threes.
Yes.
It's a little bit repetitive. I think that
but
the
they're
Knicks,
all a little different, though.
They are a little bit different. They are.
Like Josh Hart, more defensive-minded. Dante DiVincenzo, I think, out of those three is probably the most like complete all-around in terms of like playmaking, catch and shoot. Like he can kind of do a little bit of everything. Quentin Grimes, though, is the flamethrower. Like I feel like he's the guy where it's like, oh, he could go hit 7 threes in a playoff game.
And he's the best perimeter defender of the three, in my opinion.
I'm starting to see prime Danny Green with him. Like, I think that's it. And he was a dog. Like, I know Danny Green at the end of his career was kind of a joke with the Lakers and everything, but, like, people forget he set the record for most threes in a finals game, or a final series.
I like the Danny Green comp, but I think that Grimes has a little bit more juice in the sense I think he's more athletic.
Definitely.
I think he has better ball handling, and we've seen the playmaking flashes, dude. The
Yep.
pump fake out of the corner,
The
put it on the
drop-off.
deck up one time, rise, and drop it off to Mitchell Robinson.
Yep.
I want to see Grimes attack the glass and go coast to coast Josh Hart style a little bit more this year. Dude, he's an athletic fuck. He is.
And then we also kind of saw that coast to coast shit with Josh Hart. Spo took that away.
Yeah.
Like Spo was
Too many turnovers for Hart.
Because they know his tendencies. Like when you're in the playoff series, like
You're studying every night.
every single night, like you just see it in person. Like that's why maybe a guy like Josh Hart, like he doesn't have he's kind of a one-trick pony.
I like what Roger says. Quentin Grimes is starting, definitely better for spacing, and Josh Hart brings that energy and pop off the bench, can change the flow of the game. Love them both.
Perfect.
Couldn't agree more, Roger. Couldn't agree more. Knicks are nice. CAA affiliate says JB Chenzo and Josh Hart are closing. I think it could be different every night. That's
so
what's
then you
crazy.
have Grimes and Quickly on the bench. Like that's where it's like. But like that.
And we saw in the Heat series, the Knicks lacked another playmaker, like ball handler and creator. And you're hoping Quickly, who had a great year 3. Like, I think you can make the argument Quickly was the 4th best Knick this year. I would go Brunson 1, Randall 2. I might even put Quickly 3.
I was gonna say.
And then I'd probably put Mitchell Robinson 4.
I mean, Quickly.
I love this team, dude. I really do.
Dude, that's
I like this team a lot.
I'm telling you, they are a Paul George trade away from actually winning not winning the title, Marsh, but they are a trade.
They are
away.
moving in the right direction.
Dude, and also like all you Knicks fans, if you guys aren't all in on trading for Embiid, I'm telling you, the narrative would be who's the better duo, Jalen Brunson and Joel Embiid, or Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic? The NBA would be sweating or hoping to have that NBA Finals.
Crazy, crazy. We did get a couple of super chats to roll in. Shout out to my man Crim's dad sending a $10 super chat. Crimmy, we appreciate you. Seeps chips his tooth how. Marsh got punched in the mouth. Opening a beer bottle. Alonzo caught him with another girl. 4, basketball to the face. 5, never brushed his teeth. 6, dunking a basketball.
It was close to 4. It was I got popped in an intramural game in college.
Really?
Dude, I was so mad at the other kid.
I actually, mine is very, very small. I haven't even seen your chipped tooth.
Yeah, you can't even notice it. It's like right there. But
I have a little chipped tooth on my front, little buck teeth. The way I did it, it's so embarrassing. I was probably like 10 or 11 years old at this point. And like a kid that grew up loving basketball, you play low goal hoops. You move the goal down to 7, 8 feet, and you start dunking.
yeah, that's the best.
Thing is, though, this time we were playing on a goal with a chain net. And I went for a reverse dunk, and it fucking chipped my tooth.
No way.
Yes.
Oh.
I'll never forget that at my friend Damon Merwin's house.
Oh, my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
That's got to hurt so much.
It was only like a small, I don't even know if you could see, right here.
But those are the ones that hurt the most, though. Like,
That's how I chipped my front tooth when I was a kid.
see, mine, literally an intramural game. Kid gets a rebound. I'm like, my buddy missed a layup, and I was right around the rim. He grabs the rebound, turns for an outlet, and just drills me in the mouth. I was like bleeding everywhere and everything. Like, it hurt so bad, but I was just mainly pissed because I had a chipped tooth.
Yeah, we were doing a dunk contest. Like, I'm about to win this with a little up and under. Hey! And I was like, hey! It was brutal. It was brutal. All right, we're going to close out the show. We're going to close out the show with a mailbag. If you want to get your questions in, now is the time. Last call. Hashtag Knicks down in the comment section. Ask your question. Include a hashtag Knicks. Or if you want to guarantee your spot on the show, send in a super chat. You will jump the line, and we will put that up there.
Stop being weird and ask a good question.
I feel like we're kind of low on questions.
We're a little bit low.
Did my man Keith Turner ever ask him a question? Keith, I asked you to ask a question. I don't ask much out of you, Keith Turner. I remember I actually told Keith Turner I would give him $50 if he gave me – he said he went to a playoff game at Madison Square Garden. I told Keith Turner If you give me the T-shirt that comes off, because in the playoffs they put
Yeah, I
the T-shirts
remember
on the
that.
chair. I told Keith, if you give me that shirt, I'll give you $50. And I never heard from Keith again. Crimmy did get a question. I actually like this one.
Crimmy, we might start it off with that.
I like that.
Look at Crimmy.
Crimmy's being a real one today.
He is being a real one today.
He's a real one every day, but like a capital all real one today.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Crimson Dad.
Crimmy and Johnson, you kind of locked in today. There's no shenanigans, really.
No shenanigans. Webb, I need you to ask a question, brother.
And Webb always asks good questions.
Webb asks a good question. Says Donovan Mitchell is coming for that 2 spot.
I will argue with Marsh when these rumors heat up. I am so against the Knicks trading for Donovan Mitchell, and I'll go to war with all of you guys in the comment section. You won't win a championship with that as the backcourt. We could get into the debate whenever.
What if your lineup is Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Josh Hart, I guess Randall and Robinson? You're not winning it?
No.
Why not? That's
You got 3 dudes that are 6'4" and under.
Grimes plays. Hart plays big.
What is Randall going to do with that unit? It's going to be 2 ball-centric guards at the top. Where is Randall going to He's going to lose his mind playing with those guys.
And turn into a catch-and-shoot 3 guy. Shot 8 threes. That was one stat that I was shocked at when I looked at the stats after the season.
That he was what?
Shooting 8 threes per night, and I believe he was top 10 in three-pointers attempted per night.
He was. He was like 8th, I think.
That is freaking hilarious. So I told this is funny. My man Justin Ballwan, big juice. Everybody type juice in the chat.
Juice.
That's right. This super chat's coming in from Justin Ballwan, first timer for juice. Shout out to my man J-Bag, J1, JB1. Shout out to Juice. I told him to send in a $20 super chat. I'm going to do a beer shotgun. So if you want to go grab me a Happy Dad and the little tool.
Yeah.
My man is a huge Rockets fan, but that's been my best friend since I was, 6 years old. I was a groomsman in his wedding. He may be a dumbass Rockets fan, but he's a good-ass dude. Shout out to Juice. Type those juices in the chat. I'll give you some shout-out. He said, Rockets, big sleeper this year. Watch out for a Clutch City chip run. The Rockets aren't doing it, dude. Alperoon Sengun, get out of here with that nonsense. Jalen Green, he doesn't even deserve that last name. I think he might be a bust. I think Jalen Green might be a bust. Oh, my God. Juice Pack, Juice Ballwan. So showing some love on the program. You love to see it. He popped his first-time Super Chatter cherry. It's what I say to everybody. You will never forget this feeling of what it feels right now the first time you did it. You'll be chasing that high for the rest of your life. Shout out to Juice, a real one. Juice, growing up, Seeps, he's a good athlete. Good athlete. His NBA comp.
Okay. You better.
Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Really?
A little bit bigger guy, but got some guard handles.
Okay.
A little Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Those types of dudes that guard and pick up.
Dude.
The most annoying dudes to guard and pick up.
Well, one, he couldn't guard me, and I would lock him the fuck down. But he was a good player. He definitely stole from my bag when I was a kid, too.
Oh, really?
He'd watch me, get him in the post a little, hey, and he would copy my moves a little bit. Shout out to Juice, though.
Juice,
my man.
I will say, I'm a bigger fan of your Rockets this year than most people. So I was actually a fan of your guys' moves this offseason. I know the overpay for Dylan Brooks is a move I didn't like, but I actually liked overpaying for Fred VanVleet. You need some maturity.
A little $100 million for Freddie VanVleet?
You need, the Rockford kid. Shout out to Rocktown.
Oh, my God. JJ Wiggly says Marshall's Raider shots to Rebel.
We don't know.
1, I just don't. 2, listen up. I said if John Scheffler sent in a $50 super chat, I would do 2 shots. How about this, though? If JJ Wrigley sends in a $50 super chat, I'm doing another beer shotgun. How about that? You want to call me out? I'm putting you on the hot seat. $50 super chat, I'll do a shotgun.
You know what? And also, I'll call out all these tough guy Raider fans.
It's embarrassing.
You guys think you're $100 super chat, I'll do a beer shot fund.
There you go. If we get a $100 super chat, we'll race. $100 super chat, we'll race.
What y'all
Will
about?
says, let's go, JJ. Love that.
Let's go, JJ.
Juice says, let's go, Pat.
No, I'm a fan. I actually like I understand it's an overpay for Fred VanVleet, But you guys, I've been calling you guys the AAU Rockets over the past 3 years. You guys will finally have some stability. And also, Jabari Smith, Paul George Jr. That's all I'm saying. I freaking love Jabari Smith, man.
L Boogie is in the building. Where has L Boogie been? This one's for Juice. I got a beer shotgun for you, brother.
Let's go. Let's get a super chat, and I'll go slip and slide down a ski slope. Hey, L Boogie, the rules still apply for you. You get 3 strikes every live stream.
Of course, the super chat erases one.
And you get one back. You get one back.
Oh, Juice Pack. Miss you, brother. Miss you, my man.
Dude, having the nickname Juice growing up, I had a
Juice.
buddy with the nickname Juice.
It's hilarious
elite,
story.
Man.
We called him Juice. He had an older brother. We called him Big Pouch.
Big Pouch? Oh, my God. That's sick. Because getting called Juice, you're like, it's just a clean
Oh, shit. Fucking Juice. Love that kid.
Juice.
Love that kid. Oh, my
That's
Lord.
Hilarious.
JJ, don't be a fraud.
It's wild how it got quiet.
It did get quiet.
It got real quiet from Raiders fans.
My man Martin's in the chat. What up, Martin? Crim's dad says play some L Boogie music. Let's get a super chat and slip it.
That's strike one, Boogie.
L Boogie, you crack me the hell up, brother.
I will say his shtick from last
It's
year.
great.
It was hilarious, L Boogie.
Every time I saw him in the chat.
Just start dying.
Lord L Boogie at one point. I'm playing bongos with my... That's 2. That's 2.
2 strikes.
That's 2.
2 strikes.
Martin says, hey, guys, don't look at me. Martin, you didn't do anything wrong. You're just a Raiders fan supporting Knicks Now. We appreciate you. All right, we're going to close out the show with the mailbag. Get your questions in, hashtag Knicks or Super Chat down in the comments section. My man Webb in the chat laughing. LOL. Love that. Love that.
Get
All
those
right,
questions in there.
let's close it out with a mailbag. Let's go. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat. Want to make like a weigh-in? What should be the Knicks closing lineup? You can start with Crimmies. What a stream. Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for the real ones. We're at $338 in Super Chats. I know it's a lot to get to today. We're at 338. If we get to 500, I'm doing another boot. That's 2 boots one day. I don't ever do that. But it's Tuesday. My man Juice is in the chat. 338. If we get to 500, 338, we get to 500. What's that? 162? We're 162 away from another boot. Another boot. Let's do it. All righty. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat if you want to be featured on. Oh, John Sheffler's putting the eyeballs in the chat. Sheffy, deal's on the table, brother. Deal is on the table. Let's get into it. Mailbag. It is mailbag time here on New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We're going to be taking questions from subscribers about the latest Knicks news, rumors, trade ideas, and all sorts of stuff. If we didn't get to your question today, it's your own dang fault, so blame yourself. But hey, maybe if you want to get on the next show, the easiest way to do that is hit that subscribe button, the big red button down below, because we only take questions from Knicks Now subscribers. Let's start with this one coming in from an OG on the channel. My man Crim's dad says Marsh, he didn't even say Marsh. He said hashtag Knicks, who will be the 5 finishing games for the Knicks? That is a great question, Crims. And I have gone through every single situation in my head before. And I think it's this simple. Jalen Brunson is closing ball games for the New York Knicks. Julius Randle is closing ball games for the New York Knicks. Also, either Mitchell Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein is closing games for the Knicks. You only can play 5 guys. I've already named 3. So you have 2 spots available for Emmanuel Quickley, Dante DiVincenzo, Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart, and RJ Barrett. That is 5 players that you have to squeeze into 2 spots. I do believe the closing lineup, Crim's dad, will differentiate in between different games. Like if the Knicks are playing a team like the Bucks, they're going to go with the bigger lineup. If they're playing a team like the Miami Heat, they may go with a smaller lineup because they don't have a backup power forward. If they need to come back from a lead, it'll be a different closing lineup. If they need to hold on from a lead and ice the game out, it'll be a different closing lineup. But I'll put it this way. Let's do this. 2 minutes left in the game. Game is tied 100-100. I'll ask you, who should be the Knicks closing lineup? You already got Brunson, you already got Randall, and you already got a big man, Mitchell Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein. Tie game, 100-100. 2 minutes left. What should be the closing lineup? I'm going to go with Emmanuel Quickley and Josh Hart. I want to put Quentin Grimes in that lineup so bad. But I'm going to go with Brunson, Quickley, Hart, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson. That's my closing lineup. Give me the 5 guys you want to see close games for the Knicks this year. Next question coming in from Schnazzy. Do you think IQ will be a Knick after the trade deadline? I think that question will be answered prior to the season starting, Schnazzy, because the Knicks have until the night before the regular season starts to get a contract extension done with Emmanuel Quickley. If they do get an extension done, he can't be traded for 6 months. And 6 months goes over the trade deadline. So I will put it to you like this. If they sign the extension, he's not getting traded. If he does not sign that contract extension, I'm going to put it at a greater than 50% chance that Emmanuel Quickley is going to be traded. I truly believe that because the Knicks do not want Quickley to enter restricted free agency, some dumb team like the Rockets to pay him 5 years, $170 million, and they run the risk of losing him for nothing. This new regime led by Leon Rose is too smart and too calculated. If Emmanuel Quickley does not sign that contract extension, I think it's greater than 50% chance he's traded before the trade deadline. Good question, Snazzy. Mr. Will, a real one coming in. Love the profile pictures. Hashtag Nova Knicks. Do you expect any Knicks players to run for something like Most Improved or Sixth Man of the Year or even JB Top 10 MVP? Yeah, I think the Knicks could have a player in all 3 of those races. I'm hoping that Quentin Grimes is in the running for Most Improved. I hope that Emmanuel Quickley is once again in the running for Sixth Man of the Year. He finished second last year to Malcolm Brogdon. And I'm hoping that Jalen Brunson is a top 10 MVP candidate. I honestly think he was a top 10 MVP candidate this year. You take Jalen Brunson off the Knicks, I don't think they win 40 games. So yeah, Will, I'm expecting Grimes to be in the conversation for Most Improved, Emmanuel Quickley for Sixth Man of the Year, and maybe even Jalen Brunson to get a couple of MVP votes. I'm damn sure expecting Brunson to be an All-NBA player this year. Kevin, coming in with a question, says, how bad do you want to trade RJ? I don't want to trade RJ, but I am smart enough to know, with this big head and a brain in there, that the Knicks have offered RJ Barrett in a trade for Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks have offered RJ Barrett in a trade for Paul George. If you guys don't want to acknowledge that, sure, do that. But I know that the Knicks have offered RJ Barrett in 2 trades so far. And I also know that if the Knicks want to get to the mountaintop, they need to have an upgrade in the starting lineup. And there's only 2 spots they could do that at, RJ Barrett or Julius Randle. And I think the most likely is RJ Barrett. I don't want to trade RJ Barrett, but I want the Knicks to get better. And I think RJ might be a trade that is the most likely path that they could take to doing that. I'll tell you this, if RJ Barrett gets traded, we are going live on the channel, so make sure you are subscribed to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We put out free content every single day on your New York Knicks. So go down right now, hit that big red button, and sub for Knicks Dubs. First preseason game, October 9th. We'll be live on the channel. Circle it on your calendar. My main man, Johnson Yu, says, do you think Jalen Brunson will take a step forward this year? It's a difficult question to ask because Jalen Brunson, I believe, was one of the best point guards in the regular season. But I want to focus in on this right here. In the final 34 regular season games of the regular season, because it is the regular season games, in those final 34 contests, Jalen Brunson averaged 27.8 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, shot 51.7% from 3, 45.6% from downtown, and he shot 5 threes per night. That's Steph Curry shit. 45+% from 3 and 5+ 3-pointers a night. My only concern, Johnson, is can Jalen Brunson be as efficient from 3 as he was this year compared to this upcoming year? But I do expect him to take a step forward. Another year with the teammates, more settled in, no immediate pressure. And we saw him in the playoffs against the Miami Heat, average 31. So, yes, I'm expecting him to get better, but I do worry a little bit about him being able to maintain that three-point percentage because, let's be honest, it's hard to shoot 42% from 3 for a whole season. That's my only worry about Brunson at this current moment. Joel Santos, my man, what's up, brother? He says, I say the Knicks record will be 54-28, third seed. We're replacing the 76ers for that spot, and the Heat will be number 4. Oh, this Knicks team wins 54 games. We are going to be partying on this channel a whole lot. I don't know if I'm as reckless isn't the right word, as bold, good word. I don't know if I'm as bold as you to say 54 wins. Let's go 50. Let's go 50-32. That would be where I want the Knicks to go. You win anything less than 41 games, though, 42 games, 43 games, I would consider that a disappointment. I'm hoping the Knicks can be a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. I want home court advantage in the playoffs round 1. That's my expectation. I will agree with you right here. I think the 76ers could take a step back with all the dysfunction they have going on right now with Daryl Morey, Joel Embiid, as well as James Harden. Johnson, you back again, says, what's the ceiling for Josh Hart? The ceiling? He becomes a real knockdown three-point shooter, and he shoots more than 2 threes per night. I think we all know that when Josh Hart got traded to this team, the Knicks instantly became one of the best teams in the NBA, and they were so in every single advanced metric once he was traded from the Blazers to the Knicks. But I don't think that Josh Hart is done as a player, getting better and evolving. He's 27 years old. He just played in the playoffs for his first time in his career. He's now playing with Team USA, hanging around all those talented players. Become a little bit better of a passer. Cut down on the turnovers. Add a little bit more to your offensive bag and be a more willing three-point shooter and up those percentages. I think that's fair. What's the ceiling? Can he ever be a borderline all-star? That may be a little ambitious, but I think it's possible. Could he maybe be an all-defensive team one year? Shoot, Derek Wolf. What's his name? Derek White? The dude for the Celtics? If he can make an all-NBA defensive team, why can't Josh Hart? I saw Josh Hart shut down Donovan Mitchell in round 1 of the playoffs. What's the ceiling? All-NBA defense. I think that is the ceiling for Josh Hart. I really do. And be a 40% shooter from 3. Be the best rebounding guard in the NBA. Just get better at everything he does. He's 27. He's not 34. He's not done getting better as a basketball player. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. If I didn't get to your question today, I'll answer it over on Twitter. Just give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_ and send me a DM, and we'll see you later. Go Knicks. That's a weird question. Ceiling for Josh Hart.
See, like I was thinking, like, what
I don't know if I loved my answer there.
I was gonna say, like, Bruce Brown, what he did this year for the Nuggets, like average 14 throughout a playoff run and be like that lockdown perimeter defender.
Yeah.
Like ceiling though. I'm trying to think of like other like really gritty.
Like ceiling, he becomes one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, right?
Like Marcus Smart type of guy.
Yeah.
That's probably ceiling.
Seal Pasito in the chat says, do you put any stock into how well our Knicks have done in FIBA? Brunson, the superstar, Barrett, the all-star. This may upset some people. I don't give a fuck about FIBA. I see Evan Fournier tear it up every year, and he can't even play for the Knicks.
It's a totally different game.
And you're playing people that, to be honest with you, are sometimes not even G League level talent.
Yeah, and like the whole game, it's a lot more slowed down. The whole hand check rule, I think, is the biggest difference. Like, you're able to literally put your hand on somebody's hip once they get the ball. Like, it's a
the athleticism too is not even close.
Not even close. I think it's the funniest part is you watch the Team USA guys, you watch how different they are, like from game 1 to like game 5. Like I guarantee you're going to see now, like you're going to have guys like Anthony Edwards picking these dudes up full court and just putting them in an absolute glove. Like,
yeah. Honestly, I don't put anything into the FIBA.
I don't really either. I think you can get momentum. Like, it's good looks. It's better game looks than not getting game looks.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Everybody wanted to suck off Anthony Edwards for what he did. RJ Barrett had 31 points and went 13 of 14 against that same team. No one said anything.
Maybe this could give RJ confidence. Like, maybe it's a confidence thing.
That's a good point. I want to see this from RJ because the past 2 years, RJ Barrett has started so slow.
Yep.
He's gotten out of the gates and has not been ready to go. The shot hasn't been consistent. He's gotten off to slow starts. Can he carry over the FIBA momentum and be locked and loaded and ready to go game 1? That's what I want to see the most.
Yeah.
Because we've seen in the past, and as Knicks fans we know, we've seen Carmelo Anthony come back from those Team USA seasons in great shape and at his best season in the NBA. Led the Knicks to a 2 seed in the East. Him finish second in NBA MVP. Can RJ carry the momentum from FIBA and be an immediate impact player in the early part of the season?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Honestly, that's the only thing I care about FIBA. Can it get RJ ready to go game 1?
Because like Brunson's going to be the same Brunson if he was playing in this or not. Like,
yeah. Can we also do some recruiting? That's for sure. Crimmy, you're all too kind, my man. Johnson Yu says, RJ was really inconsistent this year during the season, but showed up mostly during the playoffs. Will you be disappointed if the same thing happens again this season? Honestly, yeah. Because RJ is entering year 5. The $100 million contract has kicked in. He needs to... Seeps, RJ is the most highest paid player on this team. I don't need him to be the best player. But freaking be ready to go.
Yeah.
Stop the up and down. Stop the inconsistencies.
I just want to see it defensively. Like,
yes.
That's the number one thing I want to see. Like, Brunson and Randall are going to carry the role offensively. And guys like Quickly's a way better offensive player than Barrett. Like, he needs to up it defensively.
My man Frank Serrano is in the building. I actually forgot to tell Seeps this. Frank messaged me the other day and told me to tell you hello. He said, tell Sips I said hello.
Oh, shout out to you, Frank. What's up, my guy?
Frank Serrano is a legend.
Legend.
Says, do you think Jalen Brunson could be an all-star for this season? If Jalen Brunson is not an all-star, I would be very, very disappointed.
Yeah. If he stays healthy this whole year and is not.
Like, honestly, if Jalen Brunson just does exactly what he did last year, this year, he should be an all-NBA player and he should be an all-star.
He should be a starter. Like, it's going to be him or Trae Young starting at the point guard spot in the East.
Keith Turner says, one thing about Marshall, when he loves a player, he holds on to them, but he's gradually letting go of RJ. I think I'm pretty fair.
I feel like we're both very fair on
I think we are very fair.
Like, when he went on that run during the playoffs where he was playing good ball, like, we said it, that was huge. That was huge.
Like, you can tell who is a new watcher of this channel. Like that dude that commented, I never saw his name before. He said, how bad do you want to trade RJ? The subscribers that weren't here last summer will comment and be like, dude, you hate RJ. You try to trade him every video. When it's guys like Johnson, Keith Turner will be like, Marshall didn't want to trade RJ for Donovan Mitchell last summer.
No. We were pounding the table that, like, is it worth it even to trade RJ for D-Mitch straight up?
But the Synergy second spectrum backed it up for what we said. RJ was graded as an A-plus defender in the 2021-2022 season on the perimeter. How did that change?
He was so bad this past year.
Very slow laterally.
He's just heavy-footed.
Yeah. Wild stuff. Marsh, he's only 22.
He's only 22.
Now he's 23. At what age can you stop saying that?
It's 23.
So like you can't say he's only 24.
No, you can't.
The new one is the new one I've seen in the comments when I talk about RJ is Julius Randle wasn't an all-star till year 7. Kawhi Leonard wasn't good until year 6. Yeah, which isn't even true, by the way.
Yeah, I think it was his finals MVP in like year 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And also Kawhi, if RJ was taking that route where it was like, oh, RJ came in the league, I'm focusing on defense and catch and shoot shooting, and then I'll develop the mid-range game after, totally different. RJ's gone the complete opposite route of that.
One thing that I have been disappointed in RJ's development is he's trying to improve at everything on the floor before trying to become great at any one singular thing besides getting to the rim.
Great point.
They're adding to his mid-range bag. They're doing all it's so simple. Be a 38% catch and shoot player from 3 and you're effective in this offense.
If I was RJ Barrett's trainer, that is all we are doing.
Yes.
All we are doing is catch and shoot.
And different finishes around the basket. Right-hand finishes probably in specific.
And then the next offseason, 1 dribble pull-ups. I feel like he just needs to sit back and just reset it. I see him working out with Drew Hanlon. It's Jason Tatum's
I don't know if that's the right trainer for him.
It is not at all the right trainer. I'll see them doing moves, going between the legs, taking step-back threes. I'm like, how many times in this offense is RJ taking that shot?
Not a lot, because he shot 19% on pull-up threes this year. Ridiculous.
I can't believe that's a stat.
Ridiculous. All righty, we're going to put a 5-minute shot clock on the channel. 5 minutes. I got it rolling right here. We're at $338 in Super Chats. I said if we got to 500, I'll do another Happy Dad boot. I saw John Scheffler put some eye emojis in the chat. Not sure if he's still working. I see my man Buddy Bear in the chat. Says, what up, Marshall? What up, Seeps? What up, Buddy Bear? Hope all is well, my man. I still love that it's still Lord Buddy Bear.
Lord, I know.
I love that. Seeps is going to put the shot clock on the channel.
Let's go.
Keith Turner says, I used to blast RJ and Marshall used to defend the hell out of him.
We were just very optimistic over a leap this past year.
But he kind of took that leap in the playoffs.
Yes and no.
He had a really good 8-game stretch.
Yeah, he did. He did.
That game 3, game 4 against the Cavs, he was good, dude.
He was very good.
And it was just simple. Catch the ball on the weak side, put it on the deck, get to the cup. I still love that Horns play that they ran. I wish they'd run that more. I wish they'd run that more.
Because then it gave RJ, he was just that.
When
he had such an advantage.
RJ is one of the best at getting to the rack. He can force his way to the rack because he is big and strong. He got better at finishing this year, which I am proud of. Take another step. You can't have your worst three-point shooting season of your career in year 4.
No.
You can't go backwards.
No. It just has to be catch and shoot, catch and shoot, catch and shoot, catch and shoot.
Johnson, I believe, don't quote me, I believe it's the day before the regular season starts. That is my understanding. Could be wrong.
So then he can't do it the entire season? He did better than Randall. I will say, I don't know if it's, and Knicks fans, I would recommend watching if you guys haven't already. Randall on the Paul George podcast kind of changed my tune.
Dude,
on him.
same.
I
think
kind of mess with him a lot, dude.
I think he could be a number 3, and I think he wants to be that.
Yeah. Because, dude, and the thing I loved in the podcast, he acknowledged, what Jalen Brunson did for him. He was very self-aware in that podcast. And, I'm not using the injury excuse for him because obviously he needs to improve as a playoff player. He doesn't register, defenses quick enough in the playoffs. I feel like
his processing is too slow. It's the same thing with Embiid.
Way too slow. But, I wonder if that injury, if maybe Randall was set up to have a good playoff run. If Randall's healthy, with how fluky the East was, it could have been Knicks and Celtics battling to go to the finals.
It should have been.
It should have been.
We would have beat the freaking Celtics. I know it.
Honestly, my biggest regret is rooting for the Heat to beat the Celtics because that finals was a effing joke. A joke.
Asil Pasito gets us kicked off on the shot clock. $20 super chat. He says, cheers. Shout out to Seal Pasito. He is a legend on the channel. We appreciate you, my man. That puts us at $142 away from a beer boot for Marsh. Seal Pasito, salute. Shout out to Seal Pasito, a legend on the channel. DJ says, we have legit team. I like our bench as well. as well, even without Obi. I'm kind of glad. I think Obi's going to be good in Indiana, and that's going to suck.
You know he is.
But that doesn't mean that the Knicks made the wrong move.
No. There's just too many cooks in the kitchen.
Knicks were not going to have a 10-man rotation this year. Tibbs is not freaking doing that.
No. And I think Obi and Tibbs, I don't even know if they would have made it through the whole season.
No, you saw that thing that got leaked during the playoffs. Say, hey, yo, Tibbs, you can't fucking coach.
I'm sure Tibbs is looking at him like, you're an effing idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you have no freaking clue what you're talking about right now. Like,
Obi has all the talent in the world. I don't think he has the highest basketball IQ. I don't think he has the highest basketball IQ. I don't think he understands rotations. And, like, that's the quickest way to get on the bad side of Tom Thibodeau, right?
Is not to understand your role.
Keith Turner says, Marshall, you used to blast Julius Randle. You don't do it anymore. He was All-NBA. What can I say?
Dude, you would look back. Like,
he was horrible in 2021, 2022. I called him out on it. He was great in the regular season of 2022 and 2023. I applauded him. I think I'm fair. If you play good, I tell you, you play good. If you play bad, I tell you, you play bad.
and we know what good basketball is. Like, when we're watching it. Like,
I watched at minimum 78 to 80 Knicks games this year. We were live for 70 of them. I think I have the right to.
you know, I was thinking about Randall's first quarter three-point attempts. I wonder if that was like a player personnel thing, where like they looked at the defense, where it's like we want to get the defenders more like kind of like pressing up on Randall, like where he can have easier blow-bys and everything. Like I wonder if there was a reason behind that, and it wasn't just Randall like, I want to set the tone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What if it's almost like he just feels like he's still in rhythm from warm-ups?
Yeah, and he's already loose, and he's stepping into him.
And like the defensive pressure in the first quarter in the regular season, as we know, is
Awful.
Not high from a lot of teams. My man OG in the chat says, salute. OG, you're catching us on the tail end of today's show, but I always appreciate you tuning in, my man.
I'm so excited for the season.
Johnson, you says, Marshall, are you going to have watch parties for all the games next season? My plan is to be live for as many games as possible. I can't go live during Sundays of the NFL regular season because I'm obviously live on our Giants channel. We did 59 regular season games last year. I'd like to be live for more than that this upcoming year. We did all 11 postseason games. We did 59 regular season games. I'd like to be live for more than 59 this year. That's my goal. All righty. We are going to sign off on today's show. Awesome stream. Awesome audience. Oh, as we did get a $2 super chat. And we'll pop this one on screen. Awesome energy from you guys today. Thank you, everybody, for the donations and the super chats. That's electric, man. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to the bosses here at Chat Sports and everybody here. The super chats don't go in my pocket. They go back into Knicks Now. How can I say this? Honestly, the young Cashanova says, can we trade Marshall for Rolf of chess? Raw, don't hate on Rolly. Rolly does a great job on Miami Heat now. Or Report, whatever that damn channel's called. Young Cashanova, be nice to Rolly.
Young Cashanova, what a name.
What a name. What I was trying to say is the super chats, they go back into the company. They help us to get more studios. What's your beef with him? I'm curious now.
I know. Hey, yo, keep it here.
Yeah, we'll keep it. We won't tell Rolly you said all this.
Before we sign off, just let us know.
Young Cashanova, what do you want me to tell Rolly to do differently? Let me know.
Is it the Dame takes?
Yeah, is it the Dame Lillard updates? Because we did the same thing about Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Young Cashanova, let me know, though.
Yeah, really, Johnson, we've been talking about it. It's the same exact thing. That's why I do think it's going to be funny when Dame gets traded September 1st. It's the trade rumors for sure. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's really not a lot to talk about in the NBA right now. And, like, that's the main story is Dame to the Heat. Definitely a little tired. Frank. I agree, man.
Frank says F. Rolly, his team cheated the whole series with the Knicks. Hey, man, the hottest story around the Heat right now is the Damian Lillard trade talks, though.
It's the hottest story.
In the NBA. You can't be mad at him for talking about that. Young Casanova, I hear you, though. That's good stuff right there. All righty, we're going to sign off. As always, we appreciate you guys. Let's go Knicks.